Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Lori Williams, and today I want to talk to you about the evolution of relationships. So, first and foremost, when I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about the relationship that you have with yourself. This is the one relationship that we tend to give little to no time to. And it's also the relationship that is going to drastically change every other relationship that you have. So, when you when you have a relationship with yourself, a healthy relationship with yourself, you don't need to look outside of yourself for things that are to fill a void that's going on within yourself. So say, for an example, if you struggle with validating yourself, you may need people to validate you. If you struggle with loving yourself, you may need other people to love you. Now, not every person that we meet is meant to be in our life from the beginning to end, except ourselves. And this is why the relationship with ourselves is so important. Essentially, when you can start showing up in your relationships as the most whole version of who you are, your relationships become a lot more healthy because you are in a relationship with that person because of who that person is, not because of the void that they fill within you. Now, you may be lucky and, find someone who you fill a void for them and they fill a void for you, and that relationship may work well for a little while. But typically these relationships, they're not built on a solid foundation of any sort, so they tend to fail rather quickly. So when I talk about the evolution of relationships, essentially it's about making sure that the relationship with yourself is solid and healthy, and then expanding your relationships from there. Another avenue of the evolution of relationships is understanding that not every relationship that you ever have is meant to be with you from birth to death. All of our relationships, they serve some sort of a lesson, some sort of maybe like a healing or support for us, or maybe just something that they need to teach us about ourselves, the way we view others and the world around us. And then whenever we have met either that lesson or that teaching, then the relationship tends to fall apart. So when you are looking for relationships, whether it be intimate relationships or even just, platonic relationships, you want to make sure that you are allowing for these relationships to just grow and evolve naturally, even if that means that they're not going to be in your life forever. Allowing people to show up as they are gives a sense of freedom for that relationship, which is unfortunately something that not a lot of us have experienced or will experience in our lifetime, because either we have a void to fill or the other person has a void to fill. The greatest thing you can do for yourself and your relationships is to work on the relationship, the internal relationship, first and foremost. Make that a top list of your priorities within your self-care, within your healing, the steps that you're taking to heal, and it will drastically change every kind of relationship that you have. When relationships are over, you will be able to handle them being over a lot easier, because you understand that they're not necessarily there for a lifetime, but they're whatever purpose you were meant to serve, whatever the purpose they were meant to serve has been fulfilled, and you see the beauty in that. There's beauty in letting go. There's a saying that it's actually always been one of my favorite sayings, is every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And that's very, very true with relationships, is that if we've outgrown one relationship, it's because there's another relationship there that's waiting for us, that's going to serve us for who we are and who we're becoming. Just like we evolve, our relationships need to evolve as well. But like I said, they need to have the space to be able to do that. And trying to hold on to relationships becomes very toxic. Trying to fit into relationships that you just don't fit into is very, very toxic. And sometimes it is just better to walk away. I never encourage walking away with no conversation, or walking away out of hurt or anger. I would much prefer to see my clients walk away from a relationship from a place of wholeness and a place of knowing that the relationship has just run its course, and that's okay. There's no animosity towards the other person or the situation, and there's no resentment, there's no hate, and there's no hurt. That doesn't mean that there may not be some grief. As with any kind of loss, you may have to deal with grief, and that's perfectly okay. It's something that you go through, and you will definitely get through it. But to have the ability to be able to allow your relationships to grow and to evolve is something that will drastically change your life for the better, because you can really start to see the value in relationships, the true value in people, and valuing your relationships because of who the person is rather than what they can offer you, is that's a next level that's a next level in regards to the health of your relationships now and moving forward. So it's time to work on you. It's time to work on loving you, validating yourself, being your own best friend, being your own go-to, being everything that you need, and maybe that other people weren't able to give you. Little insider secret here: it is not anyone else's job to give you anything at all, ever. You do that for you, and you're more than capable of doing that for you. And the truth of it is you are the only one that can love you exactly how you need to be loved. So stop looking outside of you for that. It's time for you to start giving that to yourself. First and foremost, like as I put at the top of the list, it is that important. You are that important. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you back here next time.